Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. For the last few months, I have only been posting martial art videos, much to the chagrin of Xiu Dao practitioners and fans. Also, given the weather during this time of the year, the yang energy is stronger compared to that during the fall and winter. So, today is a good occasion to resume the Xiu Dao series. Martial art practice can sometimes be way too intense during the hot summer days, which can cause exhaustion. If you find yourself in that boat, practicing Xiu Dao on such days can be a good alternative. Regardless of your physical condition and the weather, daily Xiu Dao practice, no matter how short or basic, is never a bad idea. So far, I have covered 8 different topics ranging from a basic Xiu Dao introduction to advanced topics such as Xuanguan or mystery gates, 3 flower and 5 energies, and others. So far, I have emphasized intangible aspects such as mind, spirit, and primordial energy, etc. But how about the body? In Western science, including medicine and psychology, when talking about body-mind relationships, the body is an inevitable part of the entire practice, both theoretically and practically. Does Xiu Dao share the same understanding as the modern system? How is the body cultivated in Xiu Dao? I will answer these questions today. By the way, some people, especially in the West, have said that the topic of body-mind relationship is an Eastern concept. Well, this claim is not correct at all. In the West, topics about body-mind relation have existed for many years as well, though not for as long as in the East. However, based on my research, I have to say that Daoism has a much deeper and a much more practical system compared to others. For example, if you read any Xiu Dao document, no matter how ancient or modern, you will notice it to be just like reading a training manual about the body and the mind. Of course, you have to know how to read and interpret it, or else any book, no matter how well written, would end up being a cryptical puzzle. That is the very nature of such documents, as I have mentioned many times in prior videos. If you practice internal martial arts, you can also practice the exercise that will be introduced in this video for enhancing your martial practice in terms of energetic experience. Even though it is no substitute for the practical benefit offered by practicing martial movements themselves, this exercise can be a great candidate for health benefit. So, topics covered in today's video include: first, body concept in Xiu Dao. Second, Jade Liquid in Xiu Dao. Third, Ye Lian Xing Practice. Fourth, practice time. And fifth, takeaways. Body cultivation is a fundamental yet an often neglected practice. It definitely deserves more attention from the community. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Topic 1. Body concept in Xiu Dao. Body-mind debate has been a popular and interesting topic in many cultures, especially with the development from philosophy to psychology. Many theories have been developed to explain the relationship between what we call the mind, or the conscious thinking part, and the brain, or the physical part of the body. Some schools of thought and practice, such as dualism and monism, use psychology and the mind-body debate to explain its relationship based on the understanding, experience, and research result of each part. So, how does Xiu Dao approach the mind-body dynamic? Ancient Chinese philosophers used different terms such as 形 or shape, 身 or body, qi or energy to express the meaning of the term body. Overall, both Daoism and Confucianism believe that body and mind are unified. However, in contrast with Confucianism, Daoism believes that body and mind are unified under qi. To be precise, Neo-Confucianism believes body and mind are unified under li or principle, which I will save for a future video. For example, 庄子 said, 人之生，气之聚也, or life of a human is the gathering of energy. Daoists also believe in 形乃神之基础，神乃形之本质, or body is the foundation of the mind, and mind is the essence of the body. So, on one hand, Daoism recognizes the unity of body and mind. On the other hand, Daoism also recognizes the interdependency between the mind and the body. Furthermore, based on my research in Daoism, there are two concepts based on the term body. Those originally were 繁体 or ordinary body and 长生 or immortality, the latter of which owes its origin to religious Daoism. Historically speaking, the overall objective of a Xiu Dao practice was to reach immortality by cultivating the ordinary or physical body. Now, I found the term immortality to be very misleading, especially to English speakers. So I coined the term 道体 or Daoist body as the replacement for the term immortality. With that in mind, the overall objective of Xiu Dao practice now becomes transformation from 繁体 to 道体 or from ordinary body to Daoist body. I have mentioned in prior videos that Xiu Dao practice emphasizes both body and mind. But Xiu Dao focuses more on the Daoist body, not the mere physical body. This is one of the major differences compared to other systems. Going forward, whenever you practice Xiu Dao, you should focus your attention on the deeper understanding of the concept of a body. Daoist body is one of the key aspects of Xiu Dao and will be explained in much more detail in the future. By the way, I believe all of you are aware of the term 形意拳, but if it's the first time you are hearing about it, welcome to my channel. Feel free to browse around. Anyway, let's get back to the subject. So, 形意拳 translates to body-mind boxing. The character 形 or body used in 形意拳 is the same as the one used in today's Xiu Dao topics. Topic 2. Jade Liquid in Xiu Dao. The term 玉液 consists of two characters. The first character is yu or jade, and the second character is ye or liquid. Yu ye used to be a very popular and important concept in Xiu Dao practice about 1000 to 2000 years ago. Only about 400 years ago did it start to see a decrease in popularity. The reason is very simple. In the early days of Xiu Dao, about 1000 to 2000 years ago, experiencing and practicing Jade Liquid was considered a great practical achievement. However, with the development of Xiu Dao, it was relegated to a common and expected experience as practitioners began to focus and experience much deeper phenomena. So, what is Jade Liquid? Well, that is also very simple. It's just saliva. In ancient Xiu Dao documents, if you see the term Yu Ye, it means that the practice of managing saliva in Xiu Dao. By the way, there is another term, Jin Ye or gold liquid, which is much more advanced topic compared to the Jade Liquid. I will talk about the term gold liquid in future, but today's discussion will only be limited to Jade Liquid. Like I mentioned earlier, in the early days of Xiu Dao, people would feel amazed when they experienced the increase of saliva during practice, since that experience was considered a great achievement already, or at least the starting point towards the achievement of a great result. Later on, as practitioners began to achieve greater experience, the Jade Liquid achievement gradually lost importance. Regardless, it still is and will continue to be an important stage in Xiu Dao practice. I'd like to explain it to you today so that you will know how to manage the increased saliva as an experience in the future. You can also practice it separately at the beginning of each training section. By the way, ancient Xiu Dao documents have also used terms like gan lu or sweet dew, gan quan, sweet fountain, and others to refer to the same concept as Jade Liquid. So, what is the actual practice involved in order to cultivate Jade Liquid? That brings us to the next topic. Topic 3. Ye Lian Xing Practice. After understanding the information introduced in topic 1 and topic 2, Xing or body and Yu Ye or Jade Liquid, it's time to look at a new term, Ye Lian Xing. It consists of 4 characters. Yu means jade, Ye means liquid, Lian means practice or cultivate, Xing means body. Put together, I interpret Ye Lian Xing to mean cultivate Daoist body by cultivating Jade Liquid. Again, Jade Liquid is saliva, nothing more, nothing less. First of all, what is the objective of Ye Lian Xing? Well, according to Xiu Dao practice, the body's meridian system often deviates from its optimal state due to many factors, such as health issue and lifestyle. Ye Lian Xing is used to break blockage and smoothen the meridians, or in other words, cultivate the Dao's body and improve health through Ye Lian Xing practice. Now that you know the objective, you also need to know how to practice it. I have to say that there have been quite a few different methods, but all of them obey the same principle overall. Based on personal research and experience, I can confidently say that this document, titled 性命规旨, or Principle of Life and Nature, published around 400 years ago, contains the best explanation of Ye Lian Xing. I'd like to translate the key practice part to you. In the interest of time, I only translate the Chinese edition to English directly without reading the Chinese text since it is a bit long. This is the illustration of this part from the book. starting with focusing on the area under your tongue. After you have collected more saliva in the mouth, swallow it with the following visualization of its travel path. First, downward from the mouth to the inside of the chest. Second, from the chest to the lower dantian. Third, split into two parts at the lower dantian, each traveling downward along the legs towards the big toes. Fourth, from the big toes to the Yongquan point. See the photo. Sixth, upward from the Yongquan point to the coccyx. Sixth, at the coccyx, both parts merge and move upward to upper back. Seventh, from the upper back, split toward both shoulders. Seventh, eighth, from shoulders to arms. Ninth, from arms to the back of the palm. 10th, from the back to the palms to middle fingers. 11th, upward from the middle fingers along the arm to the neck. 12th, from the neck to the face. Then from the face to the top of the head. And in the end, downward from the top of the head back to the starting point. The key point here is that you have to actively use your visualization to work on it. Visualization is important aspect here. I have to remind you that this practice is very post-modal since it requires adding visualization into practice, and it applies dynamic mental movement to achieve its result, which will provide a basic level of benefit in practice. But basics does not mean unnecessary. On the contrary, it is a critical step to many practitioners, especially to those who are not very sensitive to energy work. In order to help you practice this exercise, I will guide you in the practice time section. To summarize, 玉液炼形 or cultivate the body with the Jade Liquid used to be a popular method in Xiu Dao history. The objective of this exercise is to use visualization to smoothen our meridians. Before we move on to the practice section, let me share a poem written by Shi Jianwu, a prominent Daoist scholar and government official during the Tang Dynasty. He lived from 780 to 861 AD. He was the author of some important Daoist books, including the most famous 中吕传道集, or Daoist teaching by Zhong and Lui. By the way, Zhong and Lui are two important Daoist figures, considered two of the 8 immortals. He said, quote, 气是天年要, 心为使气神, 若知行气主, 便是得仙人. In English, energy is the medicine for extending life. Mind is the commander of energy. If you understand energy practice, then you have already reached immortality. Now, let's spend some time actually practicing this exercise I outlined earlier. Topic 4. Practice time. I have briefly introduced the energy flow path for visualization practice. However, the energy flow path alone is not sufficient. You also need to manage the speed of energy flow. I will guide you to practice this exercise at a regular speed. Of course, you can slow it down when you practice alone. However, you should not slow it down by a lot, or else the effect would no longer be the same. Now, the speed at which I will guide you in this section should be considered regular speed. You should choose a quiet area if possible. Then sit down in a comfortable position. To smoothen the meridian, you should keep your body physically unblocked. So do not cross your legs in a lotus sitting position. In Xiu Dao practice, energy flow is more important than torturing yourself. You should keep your eyes closed when you practice by yourself. But for now, you can keep your eyes open. Also, regarding the intensity of your focus during the visualization process, you should never make the focus very strong. Simply be aware of the area where you visualize the energy passing through. So, let's prepare the basics. First, sit down in a comfortable posture. Second, keep your every part of your body relaxed. Third, adjust your breath and make it slow and relaxed. Fourth, now withdraw your sight, slightly focus on your whole body, look inward. Now, slightly touch the palate or the roof of the mouth with the tip of your tongue while maintaining slight focus on the area under your tongue. After you have more saliva and preferably a full mouth of saliva, swallow the saliva and visualize the movement of the saliva passing through the throat and follow the middle line of the chest to the stomach, to the navel, and then to the lower dantian. At the lower dantian, visualize the energy splitting into two streams, and each of them following the inside of the outer thighs, moving to the knees, to the feet, to the big toes. Then from the big toes, each energy stream moves to the Yongquan point, then to the heels. From the heels, the energy flows back to the inner thighs and move upward to converge at the coccyx, and then keep slowly moving upward. This converged energy stream later split again upon reaching the upper back, and each stream moves toward the shoulder, following the inside of the arms toward the elbow, to the wrist, to the back of the palm, then to the middle fingers. From the middle fingers, the two energy streams move upward to the palms, to the arms, and to the shoulder again. Then move toward the inside of the side of the neck, and finally converge at the top of the head. Finally, visualize that the energy stream moves downward to the front of your face, returning to the origin. You can repeat the same practice twice or thrice. Topic 5. Takeaways. First, there are two concepts related to the term body or Xiu Dao: Fanti or physical body, and Dao-9 or energetic body. Xiu Dao focuses more on the energetic body concept. Second, Jade Liquid is another name of saliva, but the practice of using visualization of saliva movement in the body along meridians is an old practice in Xiu Dao, which is a necessary and fundamental practice even today. Third, Ye Lian Xing, or cultivate the body by cultivating Jade Liquid, is a method of visualization of energy flow throughout the body in order to smoothen the meridians and improve health. Fourth, do not forget to practice the cultivate the body by cultivating Jade Liquid method, which has been introduced in the practice time section. So that brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you for watching, see you next time, and enjoy your practice.